Hey everyone, and welcome back. Oh, wow, it's been a minute since my last video, and what a crazy year it's been. It's been a year of low water and high temperatures, and it's made the fishing on my home rivers more than a little tough. And as I record this in late February, it's not stopped raining since last October. Opening day is just 8 days away, and I'm praying this rain stops. But I'm back to it, and I have a load of great videos lined up, so stay tuned. But that said, I'd love to hear what you'd like to think as well. So if you have any questions, suggestions about techniques, patterns, casting, or fly fishing in general, feel free to drop me a comment and I'll see what I can do. Now, before we get started, quick shout out to my new Fulling Mill signature tire range of fly patterns. These are some of the patterns I've either designed over the years or that I use regularly. And after the small fly video I shared last year, which has had a crazy amount of views, I was flooded with requests from folks wanting to buy them. Now, as I don't tie flies commercially, this allows you to purchase directly from Fulling Mill, and as I receive a small percentage of the sales, it helps to support this channel. There's a link in the description below if you're interested, but as this is a fly tying video, I'm guessing you're not here to buy flies and you'll be tying your own. So in this video, I focus not just on an amazing caddis pattern, but on a pattern that I believe imitates a range of emerging invertebrates trapped in the surface film. Essentially, this pattern represents the perfect prey item that trout are happy to lazily mop up all day long. But before we dive into things, and if you're new to the channel, I'm Gareth Lewis. I'm a professionally qualified fly fishing instructor based in South Wales in the UK, and I guided professionally for more than a decade. However, I still love to teach fly casting at numerous shows and fly fishing schools throughout the year, and of course I present and demonstrate fly dressing regularly at international shows, Fly Dressers Guild evenings, and UK club-based events. As usual, if you prefer to jump straight into the tying or jump around, feel free to use the chapters below. Also, if you enjoy the video, feel free to give it a like and maybe consider subscribing to the channel too. Both will help circulate my videos to other YouTube users, and by subscribing, you'll also be notified when I release new content. So let's get started with some caddis fun. For those of you who've been following the channel for a while, you'll know I'm a huge advocate of keeping things simple. And I favour generalistic patterns over specifics. So the patterns I use while on the water represent everything and nothing. The X Caddis is a perfect pattern which I feel sits comfortably in that area. And despite its name, it doesn't just represent caddis. Stick with me. Originally devised in the 1980s by Jackie Mathews, wife of legendary US angler and author Craig Mathews, the X Caddis was created to mimic a struggling, emerging caddisfly with its shuck still trailing behind. So this fly has earned a permanent place in my fly box thanks to its remarkable versatility. Although it visually suggests a caddis imitation, thanks to its deer hair wing, its natural floatability, again thanks to the deer hair wing, make it particularly effective for fishing faster runs and riffles, which I often prefer. What makes the X Caddis stand out though is its ability to perform exceptionally well, not just during caddis hatches, but also when upwings are emerging. Now, I generally prefer to present patterns that represent food rather than strict imitations, targeting rising fish with a fly that complements the water and conditions rather than matching a specific insect. For example, this pattern has been happily chomped down when I've targeted feeding trout during hatches at the UK's large brook duns, as well as a range of other emerging upwings. My thinking is that as long as a trout is feeding at or near the surface, it isn't spooked, then I often opt for the X Caddis because of its proven effectiveness. Now, unlike the slashy rises we sometimes observe when trout are feeding on caddis, this pattern is often gently sipped in a relaxed manner, indicating to me that trout recognize it as a trapped emerger rather than an adult caddis or dun that might take flight at any moment. Well, that's my thinking, and I've been known to be wrong quite a few times. Now, before we get into the tie-in, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Patagonia's new book, Pheasant Tail Simplicity, for which Craig Mathews is one of the authors. Now, this is a fantastic book, well worth a place on your bookshelf, and covers a range of simple patterns from nymphs, emergers, soft hackles, and dry flies. And I'd highly recommend it to any of you who, like me, like to keep things simple. So with the background out of the way, let's take a look at the tie materials. Firstly, the hooks. And for this pattern, I'm using a traditional dry fly hook, barbless, in the shape of Fulling Mill's Ultimate Dry model. For this pattern, I'll be tying on a size 16, which is ideal for mimicking the range of caddis and upwings on my local waters, but feel free to adjust the size up or down depending on the rivers you prefer to fish. Next, the thread, and today I'm using Fulling Mills Twisted Pro Thread in 70 denier. Grey or brown complement this pattern pretty well, but again, if you know me, either from past videos, I never really care about colour when tying tri-flies. In terms of materials, I'll be using deer hair for the wing, Fulling Mills Grey Ultra Dry Yarn for the shuck, and their awesome Eco Warrior dub, specifically the pepperbox colour for the body. So, a straightforward list of materials that again aligns with my ethos: keep things simple. And with the materials out of the way, let's get into the tying. First, we'll enter our thread behind the eye and remove our tag. After taking the thread to the back of the hook shank, add a section of our Fulling Mill Ultra Dry yarn, but we certainly don't need all of it in a size 16. Catch in and take the thread back up the shank to create a smooth body, and once finished, return the thread to the back of the hook. Next, we'll create a dubbing noodle with our Eco Warrior dub and form our body by winding up to just behind the hook eye. Now, I like my X Caddis bodies to be not too spiky, so I'm going to give this pattern a light trim. For the wing, I've aligned the tips of my deer hair by stacking, and before tying in, I'll measure the fibres so they slightly overhang the hook shank by about 1/2 to maybe 2/3 of the body's length. Tie in with a few secure wraps, then lift the butt ends and whip finish behind the eye. And finally, once our thread is removed, trim the butt ends to form a small head, then cut the shuck material to approximately the same length as the body. So there we have it, the X Caddis, a super simple fly pattern that will cover not just caddis hatches, but also emerging upwings too. Feel free to give them a try, and most importantly, I would love to know how you get on, so please feel free to drop me a message in the comment section below. Mr. and Mrs. Mathews, you have designed an amazing fly pattern. We all thank you. Lastly, and as always, if you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe, as it helps to spread the word to the wider YouTube audience, and feel free to check out my other videos. Until next time, happy tying, Jackie Da, I'll see you soon.